In the near wake of an almost intentional drug overdose, I finally have a moment to take some time out to think about what has been driving me for the entirety of my life. I just don't know when I'm happy. What I want is the strength to be as brave sober as I have when I'm high. I don't have a passion anymore, and I'm also trying to deal with the fact that I don't want and can't have kids. So what am I supposed to do with myself? I want to experience, and I know that if I don't, I'll never get out of this hole. I'll never be normal, as normal to me is settled kids, spouse, house, and family functions. And out of all that, all I ever wanted was a career and a partner looking for something similar. So either my problem is that I have no life purpose, or I'm fighting my purpose to settle. And why sex? Why do I feel a need to have sex with everyone? I never seem to have much of a drive for my companion, only for those I'm not with or have just met. I'm losing the strength and courage to meet new people, so I take drugs to give me that strength and courage to fight rejection. I don't know if I have it in me to love a man the way I love women, but I do feel that I'd be missing too great a part of myself in being with just one gender. And I take drugs to deny this. I take them when I'm single, yet I also take them when I'm with somebody. I don't think I'll ever be able to stop until I have what it is I'm looking for. It's a reoccurring cycle, and I can admit this now. Without both a partner and my freedom, there's just this tremendous imbalance. Either I'm in a relationship and can't sleep around, or I'm sleeping around with no one to love. So I got myself a new therapist. She actually made me sign a paper stating that I'd call the emergency room if I was going to be all suicidal. Otherwise, she said she wasn't going to take me as a client. It was supposed to be a 50-minute session, but it ended up lasting 2.5 hours. Maybe instead of fucking people I care about, I'd just be better off with people who don't know me. I do not feel as though I'm addicted to sex. I use it to obtain a much deeper understanding of something greater than me. However, I can also admit that I've yet to learn what exactly that is. Maybe the drugs have been a crutch for my not wanting to hurt, or for taking my pain after hurting so many others. I need to not care as much about what other people think, but how can I do that when I'm socially dependent on them for support? I thrive on people, and without them, I feel so alone. I need the reinforcement to know that my presence is wanted. I know it's a bad insecurity, but it's also my part of being a woman. I'm at a point where I've become so reliant on being high to be social that I think I might have even forgotten how to function in society altogether. Maybe what I used to have wasn't even confidence, but just the ability to not care? Only after having been taken to the societal grinder am I finally aware of the value of confidence. This battle wasn't meant to be won without emotional casualties on both sides. I've now had to reallocate the source of my happiness from social to internal, for ironically, I was only socially acceptable at a time when I was pretending to be someone I wasn't even meant to be. But even still, now that I'm Krista, everything just seems backwards. Look, everyone knows that the Enterprise has shields, so they might not fire a photon torpedo because they know it won't break through. However, once the shield has been weakened, all the Klingon and Ferengi attack, because that's when they can cause damage. People know that a woman's weakest point is her emotions, and during transition as mine were developing, I began to realize that I wasn't always being accepted, just dealt with. I quickly realized how much I could suffer if I were to get outed, so I bottled it all up as I sunk further and further into emotional seclusion. And the more distant I became, the more apparent to others were my problems. Publicizing my vulnerabilities and giving people a clear shot if they so chose to take it. That is why I attempted deep stealth. But even with the Enterprise's shields at 100%, enough photon torpedoes will eventually break through and damage the hull, and my core has been under attack since before my change. It's finally about to collapse, and I need Scotty to reinforce my shields, to modify them to no longer be affected by what's fired at me. Otherwise, I might just hit that self-destruct button. So, my next visit with Scotty is tomorrow at 5 p.m. I only hope that my defenses can be adjusted before it's too late. Day 2 of being sober. I gave and sold my entire stash of blow away yesterday. It was painful to watch it all go, to divvy it all up without personally saying goodbye. But I did, and now it's all gone, along with my paraphernalia. Now I'm really tired, but at least I'm eating again. I can't wait to start filling out my clothes. I'm still high from Sunday and feel as though part of me is now missing. I reckon about 2 weeks and I'll start to feel better. I think I'll still go to clubs and raves down the road, but not until after I have this under control, and that won't be for quite some time still. I think I just need a normal hobby. It used to be my RX-7, but I can't fall in love with a car again. It's just too painful. I think once the majority of my debt is paid off, I'm going to look into moving away, like the West Coast. I want to see all the major cities in America, and then one day follow suit in Europe. I guess in a way, I've always been something of a spiritual gypsy. I wonder if I could survive in the world without a job per se, but just by living off the land. Growing up scares me. I don't want to. I've just opened my eyes for the first time, and I'm so not ready to settle down. But that only makes me wonder what I'm to do with my life. If I'm never going to raise a family, then what's my purpose for existing? I was genetically brought up to instinctively want to breed. Can there really be no point to existence beyond the accomplishing of the goals we constantly create for ourselves? I mean, we all end up dead in the end, and so will those we jumped in front of the bus to save, costing us our own lives, passed down through the generations till the very end of the earth itself, when the sun burns out and envelops our ozone. So really, maybe I'm not screwed for cutting off my junk. I could have kept it and still not wanted kids. So the way I see it, with the earth itself ultimately doomed, perhaps I should create a bucket list and live life doing the craziest things I could think of, while letting the cards just land where they fall. Well, it's day 4 of being sober, and now it's starting to suck. My body is beginning to search for fat cells to burn where there might be something stored. I'm getting very shaky, very, very tired. I had a spaz attack yesterday and was so close to taking a codeine, but took a Zoloft instead. I've been holding off, but it was either take that or something bad. Today is also that professional photo shoot I've been talking about doing. It was supposed to have been done last week, but got pushed till today. I'm leaving work early to be there, and bringing that little black velvet dress I have, some thigh highs, a garter, a thong, and a sheer bra, all in black. I'm not really nervous, I just hope I have the energy to be all I can be. He said that I'm going into his portfolio, and if all goes well and I like the outcome, I have another guy who wants to see the pics afterwards, who has connections with the adult industry. Jackpot! That photographer, Jim, from MySpace, had never stopped pestering me about that photo shoot, and with things going the way they were, I finally decided to take him up on his offer. I really had no idea what to expect, for as far as I knew, this was just some random guy who found me on the internet, wanting to see me naked. I had asked him the nature of the shoot, and he told me anything I wanted. He said he desired my pics for his portfolio, and that I'd get copies of anything we took. We were to meet at a hotel, I know, and when I got there, he was actually pretty hot. He had already set up a black backdrop and moved the bed out of the way. Now I was a little nervous. He told me to just relax and do my thing. So I did. Ugh, my pussy hurts. I had sex with 3 people last night. I finally did that photo shoot and will hopefully have the results early next week. I also kinda did the photographer afterwards, and then when that was all over, I headed over to my human dilator house and fucked again. Then when I got home, I showered and cleaned the house while I waited for my girlfriend to get home, at which point, I fucked yet again. One more and I would have broken the record for the day. By the way, the guy who shot me last night was also a model, and holy crap was he hot. Jeez Louise, probably the hottest guy I've ever been with. He didn't know about me, but did ask if it was normal for a pussy to be as tight as mine. I told him that since I'm a lesbian, it hardly ever gets used. It's practically fresh out of the box, I told him. I think my goal should be to make it to Hustler. That, and I'd love to be able to walk into a porn store one day and say, "Look, that's me on the box." It was so fun being in front of the camera. I think I finally found my calling. Fame comes at a price, but if I manage to get into a publicly sold porn flick, I think I will have served my purpose and can die happy. I'm still horny just thinking about yesterday. Damn. I think I'd rather just live in the now. Even if my life got majorly fucked up because of the choices I make today, at least I can say that I did it. It's better to do something and to be able to say you did it than to not and later wish you had. Once I'm old, fat, ugly, wrinkled, and my boobs are sagging and my pubes turn gray, I do not want to have wished that I had done something. And here is where things are set into motion. On the same day as this last forum post, the gayness was about to throw me a curveball. Only instead of me hitting it out of the park, the ball was destined for my head, rendering me unconscious. And when I finally woke up, it would again be into an entirely different life. I've been dying for a new hobby, wanted to fuck all day long, wanted to travel, loved having my pictures taken, loved looking hot, and having people want me. Basically, anything that put me as the center of attention. It was all starting to make sense.